a little bit about what you find inside, the papers, because we initially took you through the front page and the back page as well. I want to take you straight to page 10 of the Daily Nation, a special series that they have been running on toxic flow, the challenges that the environment is facing with an increase in pollution. This time around, their focus is on Lake Victoria, and they say that the fight against water hyacinth, that's on page 10 of the Daily Nation, has now been turned into a cash cow, minting billions of shillings for various actors as the lake chokes to death. So there are pictures of one at the top. There is algae that's covering the area where the Kisat River joins Lake Victoria, and you can see also a hyacinth harvester at the Kendu Bay Pier in Lake Victoria. This was late last year as well, with a title there, "Nothing to Show for the Billions Sunk in the War on the Hyacinth Menace." And that is, you can get, it's a really long feature, so you can get more details about that. But what we know is that the World Bank, the UN and other donors gave money and technical support across the region. However, nothing much is heard of the projects. And in 2017, an 81 million Kenya shilling harvester ended up lying idle at the Kisumu port awaiting commissioning. So that's, you can get more details by turning to page 10 of the Daily Nation. Let me take you to page 6 and 7 of the Zinzi, do I call this the
Inside magazine?
I'm looking for a more dignified word, but we'll go with that one for now.
Yeah.
So it's called My Network. It's inside the Daily Nation, and this one is an interesting one: unpacking millennials' troubled relationship with religion. So since millennials came to be 20 years ago or so, they have earned a reputation for being, some would say, rebels, redefining things. And I think millennials also came in with the creative arts sector, and I'm sure some of our guests will be talking about how they had to possibly go against the wishes of their parents, those who sponsored them, to pursue their goals. And one of the things that millennials are now really asking a lot of questions about are the religious beliefs of the ones who brought them up, whether it's their parents or their guardians. They don't conform, they don't play by the rules, and they seem to want to craft their own path in terms of their faith. So Kenya considers itself a religious nation, but what does its young citizens think about religion? And 4 young people, inside this part of the Daily Nation will tell you what their thoughts are. They're there on the screen. One last one from the sports page, page 49. The countdown to the Tokyo Olympics is on, although there have been some challenges, which Zinzi will be telling you about shortly. But what I can say is that 5 Kenyan boxers on page 49 of the Daily Nation have made it to the second round of Olympic qualifiers, and their names are Shafi Bakari, Boniface Mogunde. They are the only seeded Kenyan boxers in the African qualifiers, and they have been joined by 3 others. And of course, Kenyans would want as many boxers as possible to qualify to the Olympics, increasing our chances of another medal after, I believe, what was the only gold medal by a Kenyan boxer that has been gotten so far, by the late Wangila, I believe, but I can, that's as good as my memory can help me.
All right.
Yep.
So I'm going to
what do we have in the Standard?
I'm going to pick it up right from there, sports. All right. So on the Standard newspaper, all the way at the end on page 38, the deadly virus hits China 2020, Tokyo Olympic hopes. All the way at the end of the Standard newspaper, page 38, game organizers say that the outbreak will not derail one of the biggest events in the sporting calendar. The coronavirus has destroyed, get this, the Tokyo Olympic dreams of some Chinese athletes and disrupted the preparation of others, forcing them,
page 38, right?
Yes, page 38, okay. Forcing them
the Standard
to miss tournaments and train in strict isolation, sometimes in masks. So far, what we know, 2,100 people have lost their lives to coronavirus. As of yesterday, those infected stand at around 75,000 cases outside of mainland China. Now, there's been no known case among Chinese competitors, but the virus outbreak coincides with a critical stage in their build-up to the Olympics, which begins in July on the 24th. Now, very quickly, just a fun fact. When China topped the medal table, back in 2008, it topped the medal table when they're the ones who are hosting it. So away from the coronavirus, just in general, to be quite interesting to see if they're the same host in 2020 will also grab majority of the medals.
That's right. And of course, what impact this virus will have on some athletes who might say, I don't want to go to Tokyo this time around. I'm not sure about because some athletes have actually pulled out in that. Like I remember during the Brazil Olympics, there were some who boycotted because then it was the Zika virus that was a scare. So for some, they might say, you know what, it's not worth it. And what I saw this morning, 3 indoor events in Tokyo have been cancelled just because of the scare around the virus.
You've already had some of the athletes saying the sort of training conditions they have had to undergo through, or rather change, to make sure that they still are able to do their training. But with the coronavirus, I'm sure it's making it a bit more difficult. But that's on page 38. Now, Pulse newspaper, inside the Standard newspaper, the In magazine, inside the newspaper, you will find all different stories inside there, entertainment and fashion, in case you want to take a breather from all the politics and the news. But allow me to go back to the hardcore politics just a little bit. I want to bring your attention to a different story on page 18. Page 18 of the Standard newspaper. State moves to fight rising locust invasion. Hope you haven't forgotten about it, right? This is a quick update of where we are right now as a country. Locust invasion was first reported in Kenya at the end of 2019. Remember that, right? So far, 18 countries have been affected by the insect. The government has deployed several aircrafts to help combat the menace through spraying. This is page 18 of the Standard newspaper. There is fear of a looming food crisis as the pests have destroyed vegetation. We also are aware that now some of that locust is also making its way to South Sudan as well. Government outlines plans to deal with the pests, which are now in 18 counties so far in Kenya. The government has deployed 9 aircrafts to be used to combat the locust invasion through spraying. Government spokesperson Cyrus Oguna said so far 18 counties have been affected. So this specific article breaks down the losses in our livestock that so far we've seen, the trail of destruction when it did start last year in 2019, the biggest locust invasion that we've seen, experts say, in close to 28 years in Kenya. The absurd claims that have also come with this whole issue. I also want to remind you how yesterday we saw the President Paul Kagame in Rwanda fire his own CS minister for lying about the coronavirus that we saw outbreak as well. So it's also interesting to see how different countries are sort of managing all these different challenges. On one side, we have the coronavirus. Here in Kenya, we're also having to handle the locust invasion as well. And not just Kenya, East Africa at large. We have Ethiopia, Somalia, and Kenya who have so far, and South Sudan, the latest, that have become a victim, should I say, to this locust invasion.
All right, and a little bit of Uganda as well. Yes, good. So that's a little bit of what you'll find inside the papers this morning. Get your own copy if you want more details as well.